Hey, my love bugs. Um, I really should give y'all guys a heads up before I go live, but yeah, I kind of just wing it. um, I guess I should wait at least for one person to pop up. Because I know I did kind of do it pretty late. And if y'all hear stuff in the background, it's my mom. She's still watching TV and she's still up, so. And so I guess I should just go ahead and get started because y'all gonna see this later anyway. So in this video, I'm going to give y'all some advice on how to deal with elders who tend to deny their indigenous heritage. And as some of y'all may know, there's a lot of elders that believe the notion that we are African Americans. We came over here on a slave boat, which obviously is not true. But they have that mindset programmed into them. And if you're, wanting to know more about your indigenous side, these elders may make it difficult for you. They may make it difficult to learn more information if they're not open about it, or they simply don't want to talk about it. And it's weird because, you have elders that talk about their indigenous heritage and they get upset because the younger generation may not care. And then you got the elders who talk about being African all the damn time and talking about being black, and they may get mad at you for talking about being indigenous. So it's crazy. And then you got the ones that just kind of just don't care, or they just kind of in a blank space. So it is hard. It is hard to find that balance. But if you know for sure you are indigenous, you looked up your documents, you even talked to family members, and you just know, and you still dealing with elders who deny their indigenous ancestry, the main thing I can tell you to do is just don't force it. Don't force it on them. Don't pressure them. Don't try to corner them with the information, because anytime when you try to really push information on somebody, they're going to be rebellious towards it. They're going to feel like the whole world is coming against them. And you don't want that when you're still trying to get people to understand and learn things. So you have to be really understanding and compassionate when it comes to the subject, because our people have been going through bleaching policies, Indian removals, all of that. And, I recently, actually just today, I had to like kind of go back and forth with my elders because today I went outside and I had my feather and my hair, and I had on my indigenous necklace. Oh, by the way, my grandmother gave me this necklace for, I think, my 16th or 15th birthday. No, it had to be 16th birthday, maybe 17th, somewhere in that area. And actually, this reminds me of a bear claw necklace. And my homeboy was telling me that they gave these to people during ceremonies, or they just gave thanks to like a spirit. And so for her like to give me this necklace, I was like, wow, I'm so much more honored now. And so back to the story, my uncle came up on the porch and he was like, oh, I see you going back Indian with your necklace and then with your feather. I'm like, yeah, my grandmother gave this to me. She's from the Ishok tribe. And he was like, oh, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, do you think we're indigenous? He was like, huh? Do we think we're indigenous? I'm like, yeah, like, you don't think you're indigenous? He was like, well, we African American. We came over here on the boat. I'm like, we? I said, we. I said, at first I was going to say you may have came, but I was like, you know what? Let me stop right there, because we come from the same bloodline. His daddy is my grandfather and his mom is my grandma. We came from the same bloodline. So I reversed the script on him. I said, did you know that grandma said that we are Cherokee, aka Ananiawaya. And he turned so quick and ran into the house and told my mom, he said, Ashley said that we Cherokee. Like I'm the elder, and the child going back to to the parent, telling the parent what they heard the elder say. So I'm just like, dang, like the conditioning is deep. And then so I found an Indian schoolgirl that looked just like my auntie. And I showed the picture to her. And usually, she's kind of like accepting towards like the photos I show her. But since this girl looks just like her, she was a little in denial. She kept saying that she was mixed or Creole and all this other stuff. I'm like, no. I was like, let's be honest. People are going to sit there and say that we're mixed. They've been saying indigenous people look mixed for a long ass fucking time now. So, just by her saying that, I just felt like since she's seen herself in that woman, she has to kind of twist the story, because my family knows that we have indigenous history. Not history, ancestry, whether they want to accept it or not. And so, so when she tried to sit there and say that she mixed, I felt kind of offended, because I was like, you can't sit there and say that this person is mixed because you don't know their full ancestry. And obviously on the picture, it says that she is Indian, and she was considered to be she was considered to be most popular and beautiful Indian girl in the school. So I was like, that's not fair, auntie, to sit there and say that she mixed when you don't really know her full background. And obviously it says that she's Indian, And she was like, well, she looks mixed. I'm like, well, there is a 11,500-year-old to 11,000 million year old school named Lucia, and she looks just like her. They have similar features, and I was like, and she's not mixed. Nowhere in the article did they sit there and say she's mixed. They did say she's African looking, but anytime when it comes to people who are melanated, they always got to throw African in the mix. So I'm not really worried about that. We know the truth. It doesn't matter if these white folks sit there and say that she's indigenous or not. We know the truth. We know what's up. And so when I said that, she was like, well, she's pretty, whatever her background is. I was like, why you gotta be so dismissive? And I have to remind myself, it's not my place to tell people their ancestry, their heritage, all of that. But when it's like we come from the same bloodline, it's kind of like a smack in the face, because my auntie, she used to be the one telling me that we're Cherokee. And I remember very clearly my grandma saying that we're Cherokee as well. And when I look at our documents with us migrating from Georgia to Texas, well, her side migrated to Georgia to Texas, I was like, yo, like, the documents is right here, and I mean, if people are looking for paper documents to sit there and say that we're indigenous, you're like damn near almost 100 years too late, because they sitting over here doing all this rearranging and changing documents. It's like there's nothing that we can do at this point. You just have to really know who you are and really accept who you are. Just like I said, when I became very deep into my spirituality, I was calling on Africans and African ancestors when I ain't had none. Ain't nobody reached out to me. Ain't nobody pleasant for my life. But when I start speaking out to my indigenous ancestors, oh, they came running to me. They came flocking to me. They came just making my life better. Like, Dave is giving me all the answers. Like, I'm still finding out things about myself to this day. So when I hear, the elders dismissing their heritage, it's hard. It's hard to hear, your loved ones saying that, oh, well, they must be mixed since they kind of look like me, or we're not Indian, we're black. Like, what the fuck is black? Like, this is black. My hair is black. I'm not black, obviously. I'm chestnut brown. I'm copper color, baby. So it's just kind of, it sucks, but you have to just kind of keep your head up. You can't force it. on to your elders about who they are. You just, I mean, you can continue to share information with them, but just take your time with them. I'm still taking time with my elders because those two, my uncle and my auntie, they work in a school, a public fucking system school. And so the brainwashing, the rewiring is constantly going on in their head. When you constantly go to a whitewashed institution every day that tells you who the fuck you are, you're going to believe it. You're going to fucking believe it. Some people, who obviously was born in their family and it was taught that they're indigenous, they had it made. It was like, I ain't black, I'm indigenous, I'm Indian. So people who grew up like that are very lucky, because if you grew up like me and your elders may have mentioned being indigenous once in a while, it was hard. It was hard because you was being fed these lies, and you go around saying that this is who you are, and you try to force that on other people. Man, so I mean, with my elders, I really try to just be really loving and accepting towards them, because they have to go to these whitewashed institutions every day, and they have to teach a curriculum that really goes outside our own ethnic, that goes outside our own code of conduct. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard. It's hard dealing with that. It's hard, facing that. But I mean, we just have to be strong. We have to be strong for ourselves, and also for our people, but ultimately be strong for yourself. Like, just have that backbone, have that strength. And I will always continue, to be indigenous. I don't really speak about my indigenous heritage like that, because I really feel like there's really no need to. When people see me coming with my, indigenous choker, they don't sit there and ask me 1,000,001 questions about my heritage. Like, they don't sit there and make me feel like me claiming being indigenous is wrong, because believe it or not, I was at Home Depot the other week to get some more stuff for my gardening. Oh, which I'm gonna make a video for you guys, but I'm gonna do like a complete video before I do the video. So I'm gonna give a complete analysis for how to garden and what to do, but that's a different topic. But I was telling him that my choker is Aniyawaya, aka Cherokee. And it's funny because, when I hear people say that they're Cherokee, and I say the real name for Cherokee, Aniyawaya, they be like, huh? And this is a typical white person. So, white people was going to claim Cherokee. Like I don't know that the Cherokee Nation accepted Irish and Scottish people into the nation, while also kicking out members and people who actually have bloodline ties like me out the nation. So, I mean, like I know what's up. I know. I secured the bag. I know the bag. I know what it is. So, he was checking me out like at the register, and and the first thing he said when I was said that I was Aniyawaya, he said, "Are you percentage or full blooded?" And I said I was percentage, because obviously, I'll come from different nations, and it'd be kind of misleading for me to sit there and say, oh, I'm just Aniyawaya, when obviously I come from Ishuk, I come from Choctaw, I come from I also found out that I come from the Oneida tribe too, the same tribe Aaliyah is from. So, and actually, when I was doing my document research, that was the first thing that popped up, but I kind of felt like it was just too easy for that to pop up, and I kind of like denied it a little bit. But when I talked to this chief about my ancestry, and we was really looking into it, he was like, "Yeah, that's what it is." And so I'm definitely gonna look more into that, because it's just things that be in your spirit, and you just don't know why, and it winds up being true. So yeah, but that's a different topic. So my family kind of laughs when I talk about being indigenous, but low key, they know the truth. They know the truth. Like, I mean, people could sit there and be like, we're black, but again, what the fuck is black? What the fuck is black? Like, black is a title that was given to indigenous people to take our rights, take our land, and take our heritage. You know, people be like, oh, you know, black Indians were accepted into the nation. I'm like, if they was already here, then they was already here. All they did was reclassify them and play like they was slaves to begin with when they never was slaves. There are so many indigenous dark-skinned people that look like me and have bloodlines to indigenous nations like me that were never slaves in these indigenous nations. Never slaves. But yet people want to play like we always slaves to indigenous nations when that's not true. And not every indigenous nation out there participated in slavery as well. So it's hard, dude. It's hard. It's gonna be hard. You're gonna have people, especially elders, that's gonna deny it, and who's gonna like maybe give you an attitude. But all I can really say is keep your head up, continue to live in your truth, because never let anybody make you feel like you live in a lie when you know you living right. When you know you're living right, you just gotta really act accordingly with it. Because like I say, if I was to walk out here with my my necklace and with my buckskin outfit I made and all that other stuff, who gonna deny it? Who the fuck gonna deny it? Like, I cut off my hair. I cut off all my hair. Y'all probably seen it in my last video. I cut off all my hair. And people still accepted me as I am. People have no choice to accept you when you accept you. Remember that. Remember that. My uncle knew I'm indigenous. He even said my necklace is indigenous. And I'm pretty sure deep down he knows that he's indigenous too. But just like, look at this necklace though. I knew it was indigenous. I knew it's been indigenous the whole time. Because I never really seen a necklace like this. And obviously, it's different than like a real authentic bear claw. But this is what it really resembles. And I don't really know what these. I don't know. For some reason, this kind of reminds me of like an orb. And I've seen many orbs in my life. So, and at first I kind of denied this necklace because I was like, man, it looks so prickly. Like, I feel like if I was to wear it, I'm going to be choked to death. Like, it's going to bleed. It's going to make me bleed. Like, it's going to be all on my neck. But, I mean, it's actually really comfortable to wear. And it just proves that, you can't really knock something unless you really try it, unless you really learn about it and really get into it. Because it took me a while to really accept and understand who I am. And we have to be careful and be compassionate and loving and accepting towards our elders as well, because our elders grew up being told, don't say you're Indian. They've been growing up being taught that if they speak about their indigenous heritage, it can really bring chaos to the family. They made laws to where if you talked about being indigenous, they would throw your ass in jail. They will blackmail you. I also heard where in Mississippi, if you was to even check that you were Indian, they will put your ass on that reservation. And you already know us Indians, we not doing that. Like, fuck a goddamn reservation. I mean, I'm kind of hesitant to even kind of like go further into looking into my innate heritage because, the paper document is there. This woman is obviously registered into this nation. And so I'm scared that like if I was to really look further into it and I wanted to get, those indigenous rights and maybe register, because I don't really deal with the federal recognition, but I'm just giving y'all a scenario. If I was to really do that, they'd be like, okay, well, you can sign up with the tribe because obviously you have documents with us, but you have to live on a reservation. I have to give up the land I have now. I have to give up a whole bunch of stuff. And I don't want to do that. I'm not saying that that's something they would do, But I mean, you just don't never know with these people. You know, they steady try to take our land, take our heritage, take our dignity from us, and no one can really take anything from you. Like I'm telling you, no one can take away who you are. You know, it's just when you start accepting the lies, that's when you start to short sell yourself. Like we have choices. You know, we all have choices, whether you want to believe it or not. Um, you know what Kanye said. I know people gonna be hella mad about what I'm saying, but I mean, I kind of agree to what Kanye said to a certain extent. Hear me out. I'm just saying, there are children that were slaves. Obviously, they had no choice. Children have no choice in being slaves. There are people who really had no choice. Really had no. They was chained up every day, like gun to their motherfucking head. I mean, but you also had the ones that would like snitch. You had the ones that would snitch and that were comfortable being fucking slaves. They choose that lifestyle. They knew that that lifestyle was deadly. They knew that that lifestyle hurt people and hurt others, hurt their children, hurt their loved ones, hurt everybody. But they continue to be a slave. They didn't want to fight it. They didn't want to they just kind of lay down and die with it. And if you wanted to escape and do something, they tail mouse on you. But that's psychological right there. That's the same reason why our people going with what the fuck they going through now. You know, they sitting there talking about I'm not Indian because Massa said. Like people are really in love with their oppressor, or I like to say colonizer. And yeah, I'm gonna periodically look at these comments. I'm gonna look at them later. Like I'm gonna finish what I had to say because I don't want to leave y'all guys hanging. But it's like, yeah, you know, that's why we hear stories about Harriet Tubman and Nat Turner. Like Harriet Tubman was like, I could have freed 1,000 more slaves if they knew they was fucking slaves. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure like they had a choice. At that point in time, they had a choice. When Harriet Tubman pulled up and like, hey, let's go. I'm freeing you now. I was freeing you. And what the fuck they say? No, I'm comfortable here. And some of them, I'm pretty sure a lot of them snitch. Like that's a choice. You choose to stay with your motherfucking oppressor. And also another thing, I know I'm like getting way off topic, but I do want to point out that our people are very powerful people and we have choices every day. But people tend to make a lot of sorry choices. And then when they get into situations, they'd be like, damn, I ain't got no choice. I'm like, you do have a choice. We always have choices. But once the second you feel like you don't have a choice, that's when other people can get into your motherfucking head. That's when you give your power to others, when you feel like you don't have a choice. Or even if you say you don't have a choice. We are very powerful people. Powerful people have choices. You can choose. You can either choose to live a lie or choose to live in your truth. That's as real as it motherfucking get. You know, I also saw somebody say that in that movie Life, you know, they choose not to be motherfucking prisoners. And they was innocent. They was innocent and shit. They ain't kill that man. They ain't kill that man. But hey, they got caught up in that shit and they were sent to jail for life. But it took them almost like almost their motherfucking life, like all their life, they finally became free. They choose not to be in that situation. They choose not to be like that. And they still had the mentality, even if it took them a long motherfucking time. You know, our people have choices. And our elders have choices too. They have choices. They probably feel like they're not indigenous because Massa told them they're not. And they really, you know, feel like they have no choice but to accept you know, being black or being African American or whatever the fuck you want to call it. But they do have a choice. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy because not all of our ancestors were slaves. Um, and especially when people be like, oh, all of African Americans are mixed with white or Indian or whatever fuck the case may be. First of all, only 400K, so supposedly Africans, came to the United States. But actually, it's even half of that. Because half of that was white people. They was doing a slave trade with white people. It was going through Africa, then to here. So it's really half of that. And then you got in Mexico, they was talking about over 200,000 slaves were imported into Mexico. Like, I mean, that's not enough to populate the nigger population we got now. That's not enough. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a mixture of African, Indian, and white somewhere down in some people timeline, but it doesn't mean that all of us are mixed. It does not mean that all of us were slaves, because when I did my document research, I ain't found then one slave schedule. But I'll always hear my elders talking about being slaves and stuff. I'm like, where? Because slaves can't be on the census. Like, what you talking about, Willis? What you talking about? So yeah, I hope I really didn't offend y'all guys too much by that, saying slavery is a choice, because slavery is not really a choice. Like, no one really chooses to fuck to be a slave. But when you get in that mind frame, in that PTSD frame, and you love your oppressor and shit, that's when the fuck you choose. You choosing that shit. And when you choose to snitch on people who trying to be free, that's a choice. That's a choice. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who were offered to be free, and it was like, nah, I stays with master because I that's my decision. I choose to stay with master. I'm like, okay, then stay your ignorance with master then. Stay with him. But yeah, but you but yeah, you just gotta be really comforting and welcoming towards our elders, because they still probably feel a little uncomfortable, and it wasn't that long ago when they was really fucking with our people like that. And I mean, and there's so many stories about them fucking us over, and they're taking our land, and they doing shit to our people and stuff like that. And it's hard. It's hard, and maybe our elders don't want to talk about it or accept it because it may bring back bad memories. It may bring something inside of them that, that's really hard for them to accept. And, it's not their fault. It's not their fault that they're traumatized, but if they continue to live in that mindset, knowing that it's detrimental to their health, and they know that, it's hard to live like that, then that's a choice too. Like a lot of our elders are choosing to ignore the truth. A lot of them are choosing to ignore their indigenous heritage, and most likely out of trauma and fear. We have to really be considerate of their feelings too, because who knows what, my auntie, my uncle seen in the past. Who knows what they went through. Because I mean, every day I'm learning something new about my family that they never told me before. Especially with my grandma. I'm pretty sure my grandma seen a lot of shit that she never really talked about because maybe it was traumatizing to her. We don't really talk about what bothers us in our indigenous community, and that's what really fucks us up, because it's like we're listening to what other people say about us, and then we got to deal with the shit that we saw growing up and witness the shit that really fuck with us, and not that long ago, whites was treating us like trash. Like they was spitting on it, like they was doing mad shit. Not saying that we was not fighting back though, because our ancestors, And our elders, they was ready to fuck some shit up. Like, I cannot, y'all, my mama is in her 50s and she stayed telling me how she fucked up white people, at her school for them talking mad shit and stuff like that. And being out of pocket. So, it's not like we was weak or we was just laying down or dying. It's just that we was fed this lie and it continued to be a bigger lie, and then people accepted the shit, and maybe, that hurts some of our elder self-esteem, because, you know, um they seen the shit growing up, and also with that Martin Luther King shit too. Like, he was like, "Oh, don't fight back. Just let them hit you and beat on you." Like, that could really be hurting the ego too. Like, that could be hurting your pride. Like, damn, like the elders was taking it like that, or you see mommy and daddy getting their ass whooped and they ain't fighting back. Like, like that. It could be like a little self-confidence issue, and they probably want to be something else because they felt like the shit that their parents was doing was weak as hell. You just never know. I'm just making. I don't know, because you just never know what goes through people's mind. You don't never know. You don't ever know. What they went through. Because not a lot of our elders really talk about it like that. But they need healing too. They need healing too, and they deserve to have people there that really love and care about them as well. Let me see. Let me look through these comments. Okay, furthers up. Okay, thank you. Oh, baby, no, I don't know nothing about the Caribbean. I'm sorry. I don't really get out much. I was actually offered to go out today, and I didn't. But I do plan on taking a trip to the Caribbean one day. Hopefully, I can link up with my homegirl Tosh, and we can go together. Tasha, she is so, she's just a beautiful person. I love that woman to death. Like, I just love her. Oh, and also a little fun fact for you guys. I don't know how to pronounce this word, but I think it's called Tachas or Tasha, something like that. I think it's Tashash though, or I can't really pronounce the shit. I'm sorry. I'll probably put the shit in the caption so y'all can really look the shit up yourself. But it means friend, and that's like the original name for Texas. So just a little heads up, man. A little something. Yep, Styles by Anita, super true, because the slave trade is really taught in reverse. It's really taught in reverse, and people think it's the other way around when it's not. I remember I was talking to a guy about this, and he was like, "People going to our people going to Africa to find their African roots, but Africans should be coming over here to find their American roots." And I just thought that was funny. But when I thought about it, I was like, "Damn, they really should," because they were shipping our asses like it was nothing. And I'm pretty sure there's like a lot of Africans over there that have indigenous DNA. But I'm pretty sure them little DNA testing companies ain't really telling them that. And if they do, them Africans are not going around promoting it. I'll be like, the day they do, I'll be shocked as shit. I'm like, what? That's what we doing now? You gonna tell the truth now? But nah, I don't expect no DNA companies to really tell the truth like that. I mean, maybe if you go like to a college or something, because colleges be saying a lot, and that's how we learn a lot about skulls and skeletons and stuff like that through these colleges, not through DNA companies, because DNA companies, they don't really examine a skull like these colleges do in these universities. So y'all need to be going to the universities if you're going to sit there and test your DNA. But watch them though. Like, watch them. Like, don't take what the fuck they say 100%. But do that shit with caution though. But a lady did go to a university, and she said, "I found out I'm Native American and I have Australian Aborigine DNA." And I was like, "See, I told you about the Australoid shit. People but don't want to listen." Your sister and you got into it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I love you too, boo. Kareem. Hey, boo. I know this shit is sad. Yeah, they really are brainwashed as fuck. Did we vape before? I don't know. I never vaped in my goddamn life. I'm really trying to stop like smoking. I mean, if I was to smoke tobacco like I always used to, I'll probably have to get like that pure kind, like like they got at the liquor store, because I'm not trying to smoke no more Black and Milds. But yes, I'm a Black and Milds girl. And I've been really trying to stay off that fire water too. It's been hard, y'all. Hey girl, what you doing, Nicolette? Hey, you know my middle name is also Nicole too. Well, Nicole, with 2 L's. I don't know why they put the 2 L's in there, but whatever. Yeah. We are most definitely in a dangerous position. It's hard, I feel like we're also in a dangerous, but yet the most powerful position, because for one, motherfuckers should be happy that we're not burning this shit down. Like, they should be saying thank you for us being calm and being so loving and caring like we are today. I mean, even if we're not like that towards each other, but to other people, they should be very lucky. They should be very lucky that we ain't tear this shit down and rebuild the shit ourselves. Like, they should be really thanking us, because we are that powerful. Like, we are that motherfucker. Like, don't fuck with us. Like, they should be kissing our asses. And trust me, I had a nigga kiss my ass right after he beat the punani up. So I know these little bitches out here ain't too proud to motherfucking beg. Get it right, bitch. Shit. Yes, they should be kissing ass, kissing everything, just hoping that we don't sit there and fuck up their little worlds. No, I'm not. Man, I've stopped smoking weed too. Like, I don't smoke weed no more. Because I mean, I used to really love weed, but damn, like, I can't even get really into detail about it. But all I can say is be careful about who possess the weed and the energy that they carry, because I'm not gonna lie, I was straight addicted to weed. Like, weed was my goddamn niche. Like, oh my God, I needed weed. I was so addicted to weed. You cannot separate me from weed. But I did not really know like how that plant was really like destroying my life. I would have never really gotten this far if I didn't really just stop. If I didn't stop and just really listen to myself, because I was really going down like a dangerous path. I know this is like pretty personal, but I would go to work, and on my break I would go to like the restaurant next door and drink a whole margarita within that 30 minutes, and then go back to work bust as fuck. And then I'll be smoking too. So I was like, man, I'll just be getting fucked up. But I had to like really slow down. I had to slow down and just focus on me, because it's very easy. And since I'm a Scorpio, since I'm a water sign, it's very easy for us like to get into that addiction. And I'm not trying to like, be going to meetings, like them AA meetings, talking about, hi, my name is Ashley. Hi, Ashley. I'm addicted to alcohol. Like, I mean, it like, control your shit while you can. Basically, control your shit. But yeah, that's all what I really had to say. I'm gonna make another live stream video in a second. I really need to go eat, because I have not really eaten today. I maybe ate like some granola bars and some motherfucking apple. I've been really trying to eat healthy. Well, not really try. I do eat healthy. But yeah. So I'm gonna make another video, and the next video is going to be about discovering your talent and what speaks to you, and just really like, and I'm gonna be basically telling y'all my journey too. I'm gonna be telling y'all my journey, and what got me to this point, and how my gifts can really help others, and try like to help y'all find y'all gifts if y'all a little lost. So yeah, so stay tuned, and I'll see y'all maybe in the next 30 minutes or an hour. Give me about 45 minutes. Like 45 minutes from now, let's see, that would be, I don't know when the fuck that'd be. You know what? Make it 12:30. I'll be back at 12:30. Look at your clock right now. I'm on Central Time. I'll be back at 12:30. Stay tuned. Love you guys.